Hi, this is Mr. Cornelius, and this is a United States History Lecture on the New Deal. We left off chapter 14 with the United States in the Great Depression, and Herbert Hoover's inability or unwillingness to do anything about it directly to help people suffering led to them looking elsewhere in the election in 1932. Section 1, the New Deal fights the Depression. The Democratic Party in 1932 nominated Franklin Delano Roosevelt, governor of New York, to run for president. His speeches projected confidence and a firm belief that the United States could get out of this depression, and people voted for him overwhelmingly. They gave the House, Senate, and presidency to the Democratic Party, which meant that they could pretty much do whatever they wanted once they took office. Back then, this is before presidents were inaugurated in January, so between the time he was elected and inaugurated, President Roosevelt met with his brain trust to formulate policies that they would use to try to help people out of the Depression. The New Deal is what they came up with, and it's 3 R's: relief for the needy, economic recovery, and financial reform. The 3 R's are relief, recovery, and reform. Once inaugurated, FDR launches his 100 Days program, where they pass 15 major new laws. Okay, the biggest one, or one of the biggest ones, is the Emergency Banking Relief Act, which basically allows the government to inspect banks to make sure that they are sound, okay, that they're solvent. If banks are insolvent, they are not going to be allowed to reopen. Okay, tries to get people's confidence in the banks revived with this. And to do that, he goes on the radio for the first time and gives his first fireside chat, where basically he talks about the New Deal in general, and he talks about how the banks are important to the economy and how people need to put their money in the bank. Okay? He knows that if he does this, every dollar they put in the bank is then circulated many times out in public and allows for the economy to recover, even slightly. He also the government passes the Glass-Steagall Act, okay, which basically allows people to put money in a bank without worrying about that bank closing and losing their money. The federal government insures deposits, I think, up to $5,000 at this time. I believe now the FDIC insures your deposits up to $250,000 per account, per bank, I believe. Federal Securities Act basically makes companies give legitimate information out on their companies and their stocks, so people are making informed decisions. The Security Exchange Commission is formed to help monitor the stock market and make sure people pay their margins so that you don't have all that inflated imaginary money in the stock market like they had in 1929. He also allows people to take a little of the edge of the depression off, trying to remove prohibition. They pass a law that allows some alcoholic beverages to be produced, and then the 21st Amendment will be repealed by the end of 1933 with the 21st Amendment. So the 18th Amendment puts prohibition in, the 21st gets it out. Okay, to help the farmers, FDR passes the AAA, the Agricultural Adjustment Act, which basically raises food prices and lowers supply. The government went in and paid farmers not to farm, not to raise as many crops. It also went through and had farmers kill a lot of their livestock, okay, which would lower the supply, which would raise the prices. TVA is another policy step they use that basically creates infrastructure in the Tennessee Valley area, damming up rivers and creating electrical dams and creating jobs for people to build those dams. Another project is the Civilian Conservation Corps. Okay, basically taking young men out of the streets and putting them into a public works program where they plant lots of forests and do other jobs for people. There are many programs like this, and they are basically a way to get people motivated and moving so that they can feel that they are important, that they are contributing. And in most of these programs, they have to send money back to their parents so that they can pay their bills and feed themselves as well. Okay, the NIRA, okay, basically is a way for workers and management to deal with each other. Okay, the NRA, the Blue Eagle, okay, sets standards, prices, and limits production. So basically, the government kind of controlling what's produced and how much, so that we don't have an overabundance of things, so that prices can stay stable and that people can stay in work. Okay, other policies as well help people get clothes, get food, and have a place to live. The whole idea of the New Deal is they're going to use an idea called deficit spending, okay, which is put out there by John Maynard Keynes, who is an economist, that basically says that you spend more money than you bring in, so you go into debt. So the government goes into debt with these works programs and other relief things in order for people to get moving, to get the economy stimulated, which will then, in the end, produce more jobs, more production, more buying, more selling, more jobs, and kind of reverse that downward spiral that we talked about in chapter 14. Okay? Of course, not everyone's happy with this. People on the left, the liberals, believe that the New Deal does not do enough to help poor or fix the economy, so they should spend more money. The conservatives, okay, the Republicans, believe that basically the New Deal is being used to control the business process, what's produced and how much and what price to charge, and basically making society and the economy socialized, okay, which is not something people were comfortable with. Okay, a lot of the policies that the New Deal spurned were struck down by the Supreme Court. Okay, to battle this, FDR throws an idea out there to pack the court, basically putting another justice in the Supreme Court for every justice that's over the age of 70. And basically, it's never voted on because Congress and the public have a big problem with it. And after that, in 1937, FDR is basically able to, through retirement of judges, make the court more favorable to his policies. Okay, there's three fiery critics, so three main critics of the New Deal that you have to know. Okay, Father Charles Coughlin, okay, Dr. Francis Townsend, and Senator Huey Long. Okay, Father Coughlin first supports the New Deal, then withdraws the support, believes that we need to nationalize banks and that people have to have a guaranteed income, that we should be spending more money to make sure that everyone has something. Okay, Dr. Francis Townsend believes that there should be a pension plan for the elderly. Okay, and Huey Long has his own policy, his own social program called Share Our Wealth, where basically everyone is given a huge amount of money and have the ability to live nice. I think it's saying every man a king, and through that, it is found that would actually bankrupt the country even worse. And so, Huey Long was very popular with many people. So that is section 1. If you have any questions, ask. And thanks for listening.